I can see you over here. You don't need to acknowledge my camera.
Yeah, but now they can see me in this one too.
Yeah. Sometimes Brent needs to get in your solo. Why do you... Wait, quick question, Tazi. Just to start off the podcast today.
Yes,
Why
sir.
are you the only one who gets a solo camera?
Because I'm Tazi motherfucking Starfire. That's why.
That's a terrible reason. Brent, next
It's a
time we're
great
each going to
reason,
get
in
two
my
I think it's
single
because
cameras.
Tazi probably is too cheap to get a lens that actually is good. So he just got a prime lens instead.
Oh, yeah.
Tazi is poor
yeah,
and can't afford a wide lens, so that's exactly
want
why
a
he's
wide
doing
lens.
this.
Didn't it come with a wide? Did it not come with a wide lens?
No, I just bought the body only.
You bought a nice expensive camera, all right? We won't judge him for that.
It looks nice.
Guys, today on the podcast we're going to be talking about Turn Your Brain Off movies.
The pictures it takes though,
Oh yeah, those
a
suck.
little less
Wait,
great.
what?
The outside of the camera looks great, but the pictures it takes,
From what?
the camera.
What photos are you talking about, though? That I
What
did?
photos do you-
He's just talking about how he's making a joke, Tazi.
I was saying the
Tazi.
camera looks nice, but the photos
I'm
it takes are bad.
self-conscious about... But
Tazi-
how? That's what I'm saying.
I
The
was making a
videos are-
joke. I was
Okay.
making a
Hey,
joke.
Tazi,
It's like the
remember,
car. It's like
your microphone is very sensitive. Just remember
It's
that
like
when you
Tazi.
shout.
Tazi,
it
imagine
hurts
this. Like I
the
say, the
microphone.
car
Well,
looks.
my
great.
feelings hurt as
Tazi.
well. My
gonna-
heart is hurting.
I'm just gonna move the mic away
Because
from
of
you a
what
Tazi,
little.
you just said.
It's like imagine if I said, "Wow, the outside of your car looks great, but it drives horribly." That's
So
all.
I
It was
don't
a
get
joke.
Tazi,
It's a stupid
Tazi,
joke.
I've noticed over the course of us filming these podcasts that you have a hard time picking up on our sarcasm sometimes. Brent and I will go
Because
full
it's just
into a bit.
extremely hurtful.
But no, but it's
It's a bit. It's not even a serious thing about your camera. It's just that your
My camera does take good
Hey,
photos.
guys,
was making
I
a
do
joke.
need to take a pause here quickly. And we're back, guys. Turns out we weren't peaking the audio, so...
Yeah, this is our first time doing the in-person setup, as you know, and
Yeah.
we're still trying to figure it out.
As you
Tazi
three
and I are
people
loud, so we're we have to figure.
And
out
I'm
the
alone.
whole-
I'm only loud because I'm in pain.
I was just. Are
That
you
makes
crying? You
sense.
look like you're about to cry.
I could if you'd like.
I can see your eyes watering up there. They're welling up with tears.
All right.
I want a dad. I would carry a handkerchief around, but I don't have a frocket.
What's a
frocket.
frocket?
A frocket is a pocket in a t-shirt or
Yeah.
like a
Just
shirt
call it a
pocket.
You know where you keep your
It's called,
smartphone.
but no, that's actually called a frocket.
Yeah.
You guys make everything complicated.
You
Like
make
in a
everything
shirt.
complicated.
It's the-
I make everything simple.
All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking
You are
about...
pretty simple.
We're talking about turn your brain off movies. These are the types of movies that you go in not necessarily to learn anything, but you just go in to have a good time. Recently, a few
Well, I
of
go
these
into
movies,
a lot of movies not aiming
True.
to learn anything.
But
just
I
go
think
in to
specifically
enjoy
recently,
myself.
some of these movies have just come out. Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat, and Army of the Dead are
Which
the
I have
three.
not seen Godzilla vs Kong, but I kind of want to watch
yeah.
it still.
But those three movies have recently come out. Brent and I just saw Army of the Dead. Tazi has not seen it yet. Brent, give it like a 30-second review of
With
Army of the Dead.
spoilers? Would you like with
No, because I haven't seen it.
No,
you
don't do
swine.
spoilers.
Okay,
just
fine.
what
It's-
like you're feeling.
I think it's a good movie. The characters seem very bland, and it wasn't a whole lot of depth. A lot of the people made
Yeah,
stupid
don't try
decisions.
and get me
or
excited to watch
decisions.
this film. Convince me that I need to
You can watch
this
it on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix, so I have to steal it off of online and risk my life.
You risk your life for piracy. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. It was a good movie. I think it wasn't my favorite movie, but it was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the characters seemed kind of bland. The choices that some of them made were kind of stupid. I think.
Typical.
A lot of the decisions they made. Were
How the
kinda
flip do you
stupid. There were some good characters in it that I did like. I mean, when you see it, the German guy and the black guy.
yeah, they were
that
by
were
they,
the duo.
them and I think
They
Dave
were-
Bautista's performance I think carried that
Bautista.
movie.
Is he good in this
well,
one?
them,
He's very
and then
good,
also, which I didn't figure out until today, the lady pilot
Yeah.
who was
Digitally
added because the guy who was originally in there got
Yeah, I heard
who
about
got
that.
rid of the
That's
movie
pretty
because sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know. Apparently, when I looked at the article, a bunch of people were like, "Oh yeah, I noticed when," which I didn't even notice. But apparently, Dave Bautista says he and him sometimes because it was originally like dude and now it's a lady.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that. And then apparently she was just digitally. She filmed all their stuff on a green screen and then
They digitally
put her in, and I thought it was.
She was also really good. I can't think.
But
of
she's good. I don't know
really
what else.
good.
I don't know what else she's been in, but I really liked her. I like Dave Bautista. There were some parts where I was like, "This is a little odd." The Hispanic guy who was like the YouTuber.
Yeah,
I like that guy. He was good.
I felt like
I feel like a lot of the
there's a lot
characters
of
were
potential. It was like one of those things where the
some-
movie was too long, but we didn't get to see we also didn't get to see the interesting parts of the characters that we wanted to see.
Also,
it's Tig Notaro, by the way, is the name of the actress that got added in. Tig is very excellent. She's hilarious.
Really good in it. I liked her in it. But
is she a big role
in the movie?
I mean, all of them have kind of. It's a team movie. It's an ensemble movie. So
a team movie.
Dave Bautista and his daughter have like the most like time almost. But everybody else is about the same time because it's an ensemble movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I remember her
careful hitting the table because it does come through the mic.
Oh, true.
I
remember her from Instant Family. Did you guys ever watch that movie?
What else has she been in?
Let's see.
Instant Family, In a World. Never seen that. I haven't seen anything else actually.
Actually, I haven't seen any of these movies. Am I Okay? Other Plans, Army of the Dead, Bob's Burgers. Oh.
What is she in Bob's Burgers?
She plays Officer Large and Jody in 2 episodes.
I don't know who that is.
It's small role.
But yeah, at some points the writing was a little weird. I think I would agree it was too long.
Brent, would you call Army of the Dead
it's definitely a turn your brain off movie. It doesn't it has no there's no moral or anything like that. There's no lessons or anything. I mean, it's like a dad and daughter movie, kind of, where at the very end, it's like, oh, yay.
Yeah.
They reconcile. Yeah. Wow.
Yay.
But that's the only thing.
Tazi,
it's definitely a turn your brain on movie.
Give us a 30-second review of Mortal Kombat. We all saw Mortal Kombat, so spoiler warning, official spoiler warning for everyone. Tazi is going to spoil things.
I won't. There's special effects. They based it off of a video game.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Is that how you would define a turn your brain off movie?
That's how I would define this movie.
I am going to be honest. That's an apt description because literally nothing happens in that movie. Like it's basically just like watching Mortal Kombat, a worse version of the Mortal Kombat video game. On the actually just watching someone play Mortal Kombat. It'd probably be more interesting to just watch people play Mortal Kombat than watch that movie. The only interesting part
editing
about
is
that
garbage.
The only interesting part about the entire movie was Kano, the Australian guy.
Yeah.
He was the only good part about that movie.
Yeah.
Him
100%.
and his interaction with the guy and the Asian guy and his cousin, the fire guy, and
he's the only one that had a character on.
I don't guy and the hat guy. I don't know their names. Forgive me, Mortal Kombat people, but I don't know their names. But them two and him were like the only interesting parts of the movie. The main character guy, I did not like him. I didn't like what's her face. I didn't like Arms guy.
Character? No, not really. He was very generic.
No, it was like,
Kano's
I can do an uppercut now. Yeah, I got wired abs now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Was weird.
I've got wire abs now.
And then like whatever those like batons are called. But like it was like okay. And then Sub-Zero's death was that fight.
Nice spoiler, bro.
We said spoilers.
Yeah, I did say spoilers.
But I said I wasn't gonna spoil.
Well, but I said we were gonna spoil it, so I opened that up.
Well, I didn't.
We're talking about it. Wire abs.
Sub-Zero's death was just
the death of his was the fire breathing, and it was so boring. And then they are like, oh yeah, he goes into the other realm. They're all still alive now. Ooh, it was so boring. And then Hat Guy just gets his soul sucked. And that's what
I just like that character.
No, I liked him. The Hat Guy, the Fire Guy, and the Australian guy were the 3 good characters in that movie. Yeah. And they killed him. And then that's actually, I think, how they do it. He's like, your cousin's gonna get his soul sucked. It's like, was that really? Couldn't you have come up with some term?
Who's the power guy?
Starts with an R.
Ronan?
No, Raiden.
Raiden.
Yeah.
Oh, Ronan.
He was kind of interesting, but I mean, he was
Raiden
still kind
was
of
interesting,
flat to me.
except that his he was flat because his character motivation was, I want to train you, but I cannot be involved. And then he immediately after they get defeated at their base gets involved.
They don't even get defeated at the base. He just puts up the
he puts up the shield. And
he puts the shield first, and then he sucks them all away.
But then Kano breaks the shield, and they lose the cousin, and Reynad gets them all out.
I really wanted to see the guy with the 4-armed sausages kill his family.
Wow, you just real dark there, Tazi.
Because I wanted him.
To kill the main character's family. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because she was like yeeted.
And she survived?
And she lived.
Yeah. It's called a stunt woman, man.
And
respect them.
Yes.
It's called
put some respect on them,
they live like
if
that.
we're talking about films here.
They tried to include everyone in the movie because they were like, the villain was stupid. He was boring and didn't really do anything. You saw him he maybe had like 5 minutes of screen time. To be perfectly honest, I think he maybe had 5 minutes of screen time. Sub-Zero was the actual villain,
but we never went into hit. I don't remember.
But you go into his place like twice. He has this weird thing where he's
this
like,
weird
this
like
is my
cliff
bird.
that he lives on,
and then he's like, I'm gonna get the forearm guy, and then you're like, well, why this? I don't care about any of that.
He lives on a cliff. Boring. That's so weird.
Yeah. Him obviously, but they were boring. There was too many people in it. It felt like if you were gonna like maybe
there were interesting characters in there. I think that's the other thing to point out. It was like Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero was cool. His mask looked kind of dumb though. It looked weirdly big.
But going in there, it's like there were too many characters, but there were interesting characters.
There were interesting
Sub-Zero's, Kano, and the two brothers. I'm sorry, we
cousins
don't
or brothers, whatever.
The two cousins.
The girl was boring. Arms guy was boring. A lot of the bad guys were boring. Protagonist was boring.
Watch your hand, dude.
Yeah, thanks to our audio listeners, I have to edit all of that out.
As Gus and Eddie say, screw the audio listeners.
But I think what we've just said there...
Although we don't have audio listeners.
That's true, we don't.
We just have YouTube.
We just have YouTube listeners. But what you guys just said there about those two movies is something interesting. Is that, like, both of those movies had potential. There were interesting characters in there.
Most movies have potential. It's just the people that are doing these movies fall flat.
But here's the thing. One of them is made by Zack Snyder. Sole creative control Zack Snyder versus Mortal Kombat, which was an amalgamation of people making this one movie. Lots of writers.
Just because you have sole control doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie. I still think you can have good turn your brain off movies.
Let's look at Tenet for example.
Shut up. To be honest, even though the movies aren't great, Transformers movies still technically, or like Pacific Rim, or Godzilla,
totally turn off music.
Exactly, they're turn off movies, but they're good ones because
they're the right term? Because I feel like
they're turn your brain off movies because turn your brain off movies. That's not a technical term.
Movies.
I know.
This movie was a real turn off.
It's a movie that's enjoyable to look at. Where you're not really looking to.
It's just I can't
think about the movie.
Yeah,
yes, exactly. Whereas, even though Mortal Kombat had no story, basically. It wasn't really visually interesting to watch. There might have been some, like, the first fight between them in the woods. I thought that was kind of cool.
I didn't know what the going on in
the opening of Mortal Kombat.
The opening one, I think, was the coolest fight of that. That was it. But, like, Pacific Rim, all of the fights in Pacific Rim,
I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy.
Even though I hate the Transformers movies, every time I watch the clips of Transformers, I'm like, man, this looks really cool. Even though the story sucks. Watching the Transformers fight is really cool. Or like watching them transform and stuff. The sound design is really cool. Yeah. Explosions are a little stupid. But the sound design is really good. The explosions. They look like fireworks.
They're just,
but the sound design is really good. And the visual effects are really good in those movies. So they make it look really good. Now the visual effects are good in Mortal Kombat movie. It's just the choreographing and everything like that just was not good. But the way Michael Bay shoots action looks really good.
Yeah.
I guess the next question I would ask then is, okay, so Transformers is a good turn your brain off movie. Mortal Kombat is not. I don't know, what is it about that movie? What is it about what makes a good movie to go watch and turn your brain off to?
One that is
action heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but Mortal Kombat was, but it has to be visually
VFX heavy.
Yeah, VFX heavy. They're visually interesting. Not even VFX heavy. It could even be just like I'm gonna be honest, John Wick. Those ones have like no story.
That's
I think they're good turn your brain off
for me
because they have really
good. I heavily sympathize with John Wick.
Well, okay, yes, because his dog dies. But like the second two, they're interesting. The plots are kind of interesting, but like to be honest, the second one is like he has to do something for another guy, and that's basically the entire plot. He has to do something for the other guy, and then he wants to kill the other guy
until he goes kills that other guy.
And then this third one is he's getting chased. Basically, the third one is he's just getting chased by people the entire time.
I've seen these movies about 6 or 7 times.
No, they're really good movies.
There are deep things in this.
Yes,
you have to dissect to get
so where's
into
the line?
But you could also just watch it just to be like, I'm just gonna sit and watch this amazing choreography.
So where's the line?
You can't connect with the characters.
like any of these Transformer movies,
True,
I can't connect
yeah.
with any of these
No, yeah, yeah.
characters.
Those-
Maybe the first
Don't.
one
I
a
don't
little
know.
bit with Shia
Optimus
LaBeouf.
You don't have a Megan Fox girlfriend as a stupid, stuttering Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, not happening.
I mean, guys, Optimus Prime. I see, but that's the thing. Is
I
the line
can't
you
connect
can't?
with
So
Optimus
that's your
Prime.
line is
I'm
you
not a
can't.
robot.
Your line is you can't connect with the characters because in that case,
I've never been a samurai.
No,
that
I'm not
case-
saying that's the only line. I'm saying
Oh,
that's
okay.
part of the thick line. I think there was a thick line there.
it's a very
She-
gray,
There's
thick
a dump
line.
truck thick line.
It's a very
over
gray,
there.
thick line.
I think characters, being able to connect to the characters and relate to what they're going through, just a general arc for that character too. Like there has to be a way to. This character starts off one way, and then he's learned something throughout this journey that he takes. It's not necessarily a hero's journey story all the time, but if we were to use that, we could. In that scenario, I can connect with that specifically. For example, the Army of the Dead. How is that in terms of character because it is an entourage or a...
The only character stuff was between Dave Bautista and his daughter, really.
Well,
I mean,
and,
so there's
and,
no
and the German
real
guy and the
character.
black
Oh,
guy.
the German. There was, and then there's a German guy and a black guy, and they have some character stuff. That
They
goes
sort of
on.
have a frenemies relationship.
like they start as enemies and then they become friends.
That's
at
the
the
arc.
end.
That's
Yeah,
dumb.
basically,
But
that's it.
I wouldn't. But here,
it's
to be
not
honest,
anything
it's the
deep.
best.
It's
It's
nothing-
not deep, but it's the best arc in the whole series because they have really good chemistry together.
The
Yeah,
whole
it was-
series.
Series?
Movie.
Oh,
movie,
okay.
movie.
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't know if
movie.
this was a series
no,
of
no,
films.
It's just
No,
it's just,
no,
the
it's just the one movie.
Okay. Because I know Shaun of the Dead.
But those aren't series. That's just
No, I
the
know,
same
but
characters.
Of the Dead. We
Oh.
can
Yeah,
make a...
another of the Dead
Of the
movie.
Dead.
Yeah,
Just
Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead.
have you
Shaun of
seen-
the Dead,
Sorry,
of the
quick
Dead.
aside.
Oh,
Have you
yeah,
seen
Dawn
the
of the
thing where
Dead.
it's like this is the most confusing trilogy ever, and it's the same color palettes, it's the same looking poster,
Oh, yeah.
but it's Dark Phoenix, The Force Awakens,
That's a lot of
And
movies.
Aladdin.
and Aladdin. That's it, because they're all the same. The posters look very similar. The color schemes on the poster, it's like blue, orange, yellow, and red.
Yeah.
and it's like this is the most confusing.
They do... The
trilogy
Aladdin
ever.
one does way more on the blue side, though.
Yeah, I mean, but they're very.
You have
similar with their
if you
color
in a
palette.
trilogy, you have to have some indication of what's going on. Dark Phoenix, a little redder. Force Awakens, balanced to the Force. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then Aladdin's a little bluer because genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin. R.I.P. Robin.
Yeah.
But I still think the John Wicks movie, even though they do have
I
some stuff
think
in them, they
that
are very
people-
turn your brain off movies because you don't
Yeah.
have to pay attention to the characters to enjoy that movie.
But
whereas
I
if
think
you,
the simplicity of John Wick's character being a guy that just wants to get out, and in the first one he can't because like this is who he is, or he can't get out of this world because honestly,
Well, the first one, no. The first movie is I am choosing to get back in. He is out. He
not
chooses
for
to
like
get
half
back in.
of the film.
What do you mean? Not
'Cause
for half
they-
of the film.
for the
They
first-
kill-
The
they kill
whole
the
line
dog.
with I think I am back in or whatever.
Yeah.
The whole like.
Well, but he makes my point.
Everybody's
is that
been
his
asking
choice-
me, so I think I am. Yeah,
But
no,
that's
but
my
I'm
point.
saying
His
at
choice
the
is
beginning that is
Yeah.
part of his arc. Yes, it's him not wanting to be a part of this world anymore,
And then he chooses
and then
to
he
be back in.
chooses to be back in. Yeah,
The reason I bring that up is because I think that's the arc of the second two movies. Is the second movie is he made the choice to get back in, and now the guy who was like, "Oh, you were supposed to be retired. Now that you're back in, you have to honor your blood oath."
of course, yes.
So then he can't get out because of his decision.
I think I connect with John Wick because as much as I want to be a part of the film industry, I don't at like the same exact time and the same levels, if that makes sense. I know I'm good at it. I know I could make it happen, like all of it happen, and I know it's going to, but at the same time, it's like everything on top of that just makes me not want to deal with it and just go live in my van in like Hawaii or something and not.
well, you just
do
gotta drive
anything.
across the ocean and you get there. Take a
Yes, that's what
cargo
I'm
ship.
saying, dude.
A cargo ship.
I will build a tunnel. I will have Elon build a boring tunnel underneath the ocean.
to get a
Oh my
hyper with the railway,
hyper rail, like
Whatever the
hyperlink,
bit
hyperrailway,
Japanese-
whatever. The
Chinese?
fast. It's a fast
the
train.
fast train.
Okay. So we're sort of figuring out where that thick gray line is of what these movies are because
the
like
big one, I think, for me, because most of my films are character driven.
Yeah.
They're character studies. Even if they're big, flashy stuff, they're still character driven. and these characters live in this world that I create. Even if this world is flashy, VFX, all green screen, what have you, I will only make a movie that is like these characters are living within this. Like, it just feels unorganic to me if that's not the case.
Yeah.
If you're just have these random characters, and I don't know, I can't deal, because like they don't. How do you connect with somebody like freaking what's his face? The guy. No, I can't remember his name. No, the guy in the Mortal Kombat film. What's his
I don't remember.
Character's name?
He could be named John for all I care.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know.
Was,
to be fair, I don't know the name of most characters.
He has a family,
in movies.
guy.
Cole Young.
Cole.
I can't connect with him like on any level. Like, I can't even remember his name. This is one of the biggest. The reason why I don't like Tenet is because I can't connect with this character like at all. I don't know anything about him. He's just some random freaking dude who joins this, or who's part of this organization that does this thing.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Well, here's a question then about these movies. Do you think go to make these type of movies, these turn off your brain movies, or are they just bad movies? That
I think they make a shit ton of money.
Yeah. But no. But here's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, Indiana Jones
or at
is
least
not
that's
Indiana Jones is not a movie that's trying to be taken seriously. It's a movie that's trying to have a fun time. But we don't consider that a turn your brain off.
But I don't think
John
it means
Wick.
Indiana Jones's character is prime, dude.
Yeah, but my point is like.
Well,
okay,
no, actually, okay. Sorry, I saw a clip of this. The Big Bang Theory makes a good point. If Indiana Jones wasn't in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom.
the first one.
What?
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
No. Raiders of the
Lost Ark. God. If he wasn't in that, the events of the movie would have happened anyways. The Germans would have gotten the Ark, and they would have brought it to the island, and they would have all gotten their faces melted off because they were doing that anyways.
Yeah.
He didn't change any events. So basically, Indiana Jones is just someone for us to look at and like kind of project
That
ourselves
goes
on.
back to my point with the world
he's
that you
a
create.
blank character. He's basically
He's not.
he has backstory and stuff like
he's
that.
not.
Sure, he has
Tazi.
Indiana
Wait,
Jones.
yeah,
Indiana Jones, although he has background and he is a character. Like, he has stuff. He's not just like a random person, which I feel like Tenet was more. Although he might have been like a special agent or something like that. He has more.
What is up with you and touching this table? Eh?
He has more character stuff than it's.
Forget
about it.
It's
You're
a tactile.
trying
thing.
to get me off my train of thought.
He likes touching things.
No, I know. I'm just distraught.
It's either I do that or this, and this doesn't look as good. He's along. The Big Bang Theory thing. If he wasn't in it, it would still happen. So he's just going along for the ride as well. So he's just someone for the like.
He's not an active
We're not looking at
sense.
we're not looking at Indiana Jones to be like, oh, that's a great character development, or that's something great with the character. We're just like, oh, Indiana Jones is our vessel to see this adventure,
and he's a really cool vessel.
Yeah, he's a cool vessel, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
you're trying to tell me now.
There's no like deep meaning or anything.
Yes,
you can pull
the
from
general.
Indiana Jones.
Yes, the general story of the Nazis. They're Nazis, right?
Yes,
Nazis getting.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever like specifically called them.
They
Nazis.
have swastikas. They are called.
But
Nazis.
I'm pretty sure
they're Nazis.
I know what they are, but I'm saying I don't.
He
remember
goes
them being called
Nazis.
that.
Why did it have to be Nazis?
Oh yeah, he does.
No, he does.
Yes, he does.
No, he says snakes. Why did it have to be
snake?
snakes?
Because he's afraid of snakes.
Oh.
In the first scene, there's a snake in the
Tazi,
plane.
No, I
Watch
swear
this
to
thing.
God, there is a meme when somebody says that, and it is him.
It's not it. It's snakes.
I will find this.
There's a
right
Markiplier
now.
one where he goes, the Ku Klux Klan.
But-
that's how that one goes.
But Tazi, are you?
That is
but
from
Tazi.
something.
Tazi, finish your thought. What do you think Brent was trying to say there?
He's
What
wrong.
was your train
Well,
of
no,
thought?
because Brent is not. I hope you realize Brent is not saying
The Indiana Jones is a really
bad
good
character.
movie, and he's a good character.
He thinks
he's
that
just kind of like a himbo kind of person.
But okay, you're telling
what do
me
you mean?
what is
Attract-
that from?
Him, bimbo and himbo.
You're telling
it's just
me-
an attractive, just kind of. I mean, he's smart, but he's just kind of like
You're telling me right now
a guy.
that Indiana Jones didn't influence the general story whatsoever. Hit the Nazis getting the Ark, taking it to the mountain, and then getting their faces burned.
He might have
You're saying
diverted
he
it a
didn't
little
affect
bit.
that at all.
Oh no, he did.
He might have diverted it a little bit, but
he
it still
sped the
would have gotten
process
to
up.
their. They would have gotten to their end point no matter what.
He sped the process up. That's all he did.
By
finding the tomb before.
Well, they
did.
would have found it, but I think there's something about like he takes the amulet. I haven't seen it in a long time.
He takes the
amulet.
What was
So
the
if they had
motivation
the
for-
amulet, they would have gotten there.
just 'cause
because
he's an
they
architect.
had already found the place where he goes to find where the Ark is. That was already excavated, but he had the thing to show them where it was.
Oh yeah, that was.
And so if the
Because it was
Germans,
already
and the
excavated,
Germans
so
were
he just
digging
had the
everywhere, so
staff
if they
and the
kept digging,
amulet,
they
and he
would have
puts it
found
in. But that was already dug
they
up.
Needed the thing.
No, because they were digging. What they were doing was since they didn't have the right location, they were just digging up the entire area. It was like a big, archaeological mine. So eventually they would have found it, and within the movie, the place where
And
it
also,
actually
if
is
they
isn't
had
that far from
if they
where
had
are.
the thing, like when they go to find it, you can see them digging in the background.
Okay, but to going back to the main discussion, whether or not Indiana Jones is a proactive character is never mind. We can move past that. Do we think Indiana Jones is a turn your brain off movie?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
Brent says yes. You say no.
I don't think so. I think it's very different from what I think a turn off movie.
You don't
is,
have to.
Which
You
is,
don't have to pay attention to
I
very much
love
stuff to
Indiana
understand the
Jones.
movie.
I don't really care for all of these other characters.
think
I
that-
want Indiana Jones to succeed. I don't care if Shia LaBeouf succeeds. There's a difference there.
No,
Hey,
but
we're
that
not
doesn't,
talking
that
about
doesn't
Kingdom of the Crystal
matter
Skull.
about. That doesn't matter.
I'm
about
not talking.
It's
I actually like that movie.
But are you saying, because I this is where I'm coming back to it. Turn your brain off movies are almost always a bad movie that we just don't care is bad.
I don't
I mean,
think so.
I
I,
don't
really
think they
like Godzilla. I like Pacific Rim. It's not my favorite, but I liked it, and I still
Never seen it.
I would
Pacific
watch
Rim's
those
fun.
again. They're good movies. I haven't seen the second one, but apparently it wasn't as good.
Well, it depends on what you think
those
good
ones-
is. And we go back to the subjective art. This is all
I
subjective
mean, the whole thing
art.
is subjective.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, what I see is a good movie versus a turn the brain off movie is if I can connect with these characters and I'm rooting for them throughout the whole film. That's like the foundation. If these
that's
characters
why I'm coming
suck,
back
But
to
do you
you.
enjoy
You think
Turn Your Brain
it's
Off
a bad
movies?
movie. You
Which
think
one?
Turn Your Brain Off
Turn Your
movies
Brain
are
Off
bad
movies.
movies. You just think
I
they're
don't
bad
find
movies.
them interesting.
Yeah.
No, I can't connect with them because I can't connect with these characters.
This
my
is
point.
where I wanted to get to with this, was to figure out because Brent is looking at them as different. He looks at something like Pacific Rim where the characterization isn't super deep, but the goal of the movie is to entertain through cool
It's an
visuals.
entertaining movie.
You're looking at it more along the lines of this movie.
Story, character
This movie
development,
is not a good movie, but it has cool visuals, so I turn my brain off to watch it, and that changes. I think that's the
I'm
difference.
entertained, but I'm not.
Yeah.
My life doesn't change after I watch.
But that's
it.
the
Well, no,
turn
no,
your
no,
brain
no.
off
That's
movie.
a
That's
turn
the
your
whole
brain off movie.
idea of
That's
a
the
turn
point.
your brain off
I
movie.
know.
But is
I'm
your
not
life,
arguing.
is
Wait,
your life
did your
changed
life
after
change when
Indiana
you watched
Jones?
Indiana Jones?
No, it doesn't change.
Does your but
it's-
then why is it not a turn your brain off movie?
Because I can connect with these characters.
said
Like I
you-
just said.
But you said the difference is that your life has changed afterwards.
I'm saying these freaking movies with all these visual effects surrounded by green screen people acting, which I don't get how they do that. That's a feat in and of itself. And then you throw in all of this visual effects around these people that there's nothing around them. That's a feat in and of itself. Those are entertaining to watch, but they don't make me want to make movies. They make me want to turn off my brain and escape from reality, which is fine. There's a place for that.
But
There is a place for that. That's not what all movies are for. What I think movies are for me.
We're not saying that.
I'm not
sure.
I don't
you're
even know
saying.
why we're arguing.
I'm not saying
I'm
that.
facilitating this argument. That's what I'm doing.
I don't know why this is an argument. What's the
you
issue?
know, wait,
with me saying-
quickly. Do you know why it's an argument? Because I pitted you guys against each other and kept the conversation
Nice,
going.
dude.
Because you're saying
You're
that,
welcome. You're welcome.
Indiana Jones is some deep movie, which it's a good movie. It's not a deep
I didn't
movie.
mean
I
it's
think
a deep movie.
Let's
I don't even remember
let's
saying
take it back. Let's take it back because I think I want to get to a point where we can all just have an agreed upon
There's
definition
no way
of
that's
what this movie is.
happening.
Oh, I know what we can agree on.
Yeah, throw it out there.
Mortal Kombat was $55 million.
That was
The budget was, or it made worldwide box office 80 million. About.
We're also not counting how many subscribers they might have gotten on
Does
HBO
that count
Max.
HBO?
No,
does
that's
it
just
somehow
that's
account for
theatrical
HBO Max?
That's
performance.
just theatrical performance.
So they've made their money. That's what turn the brain off movies are for.
But that probably
to
is
make money. That is the goal.
Failure in there.
That's all I'm saying.
30 million
goal.
gross?
They probably
20 million
spent.
gross?
They probably
They're all
spent a
money
lot
grabs.
less.
Everybody's out to make money. Nobody's out to make art. That's it.
Quick note, though. On this
Clip
note,
that, put that on
normally,
Twitter.
Normally, yes, that would be a failure. But since it went to HBO Max, I'm pretty sure.
How is that a failure?
They spent less
if
money.
they double the.
Well, because
marketing.
normally you would double the budget for
because
marketing.
for big movies, 20
Yes, I
million
know.
doesn't, like, to us that's a lot of money, but to them it's probably like
Not a lot.
That was nothing. Like that was a box office failure. Like
You're saying Mortal Kombat was a box office failure?
No,
I'm saying that's
he's-
what's probably
he's
what
saying what
the
studio
studios
head
thinks.
probably said.
Oh.
Because 20 million.
I don't think so. With the
probably is
current
not that
climate,
much.
I mean, they do take into consideration the current climate. If they're going to push
Sure.
theater, with
True, and that is
everything
just
that's
theater
going
and
on,
not HBO
that's,
Max.
Yeah.
That's 20 million. If they're not doing marketing, and
That's
they're
20
just
million just from
throwing
theater.
it-
They were doing a ton of marketing.
Dude, they're just on every freaking commercial.
All right, we're gonna take this into the mid roll here, guys. I hope you guys enjoy me manipulating Brent and Tazi into fighting.
We're gonna listen to this back, and you didn't manipulate us.
Hey guys, welcome to the mid roll. If you want to support us, you can do so over at patreon.com/filmfeast. If you want to email us any questions, comments, or concerns, you can do that over at info.filmfeast@gmail.com. Normally, I would have a funny bit to do here, but this is the third time I've done this, so maybe I'll just throw in 2 shots of, I don't know, watermelons. Back to the episode.
Find me on Letterboxd, Tazi Starfire.
Yeah, thanks for taking us back from the break there, Tazi. Find him on Letterboxd. I got water.
It is Letterboxd. I've just been saying Letterboxd.
No, it's Letterboxd.
Boxed?
Yeah.
Is that
With
the
a
one
D.
where you always would pull those reviews from?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I think I have not opened the app since you
How
first
is
got me to
Fight
use
Club How is Fight Club popular this week?
it. I don't know.
And
it's a
so
good
is
movie.
Pulp Fiction.
What are you looking at, Brent?
Tazi, move your iPad. What is that?
Move your iPad.
Oh, it's your water
It's his
bottle.
water
It's your
bottle.
water bottle. I thought it was your screen of your iPad. I was like, you might want to turn your iPad so it's not showing up in our screen.
All right. I wanna ask this question to you two quickly. These turn your brain off movies. Do you think they are important?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
We agree.
Because I don't want to go to a... I mean, I still think there could be fun movies like Lord of the Rings, Dark Knight. Those movies are still fun to watch.
I
But
will
every once
say
in a while,
this.
I'm like, I want to go, look, I'm going to be honest. Well, okay, never mind. I was going to say Inception, but that one sometimes I get a little teary near the end. When he goes into
I
the
like
thing
that
with his dad.
That's not
and
a
the
turn your
pinwheel.
brain off.
No, exactly. I was going to say that, and I was
Oh.
like, never mind. That's not a turn off brain
Yeah,
movie
I
at
would
all.
have.
Yeah. Well, it's like
I don't know, maybe
okay,
like-
did you watch Lion? The movie Lion?
I haven't seen that.
Okay,
I
I think
watch
it's
that.
what's his name? Just a second.
I think he's
I
the
know
guy,
exactly
I
who
know
you're talking
who
about.
you're
He's
talking
great.
about. It's the one where it starts off as the little kid and then goes to
Yeah.
and he gets adopted or something like that.
yeah.
And he goes and finds the actual
Okay,
family.
if you haven't watched
I never-
Lion, I'm getting some
3.8 on
goosebumps.
Letterboxd.
It's much better than a 3.8.
Out of
No, I know.
So
out of
Letterboxd
two.
is a movie that stars
Wait,
Dev,
are we not?
Dev Patel. What?
Sorry,
No,
never mind.
we're
I was gonna say
talking.
we're not gonna go shoot tonight then.
We are. So Lion is a movie that stars Dev Patel. It's very good. It's about an Indian orphan
What is Dev?
who ends up getting brought to an orphanage in Australia, and he has to basically find his way back home because he got lost from his family. Like his family didn't abandon him. I think it's lost on a train if I remember correctly.
That's why we can't have
It's a really good movie.
Star Trek movies.
All right, back to what I was saying. Lion is a really good movie that stars Dev Patel trying to re-find his parents in India
Trying to say
after
this
they
is a
lost him.
Turn your brain off.
No,
movie?
I'm not trying to say it's a turn your brain off movie. I'm saying this movie is emotionally impactful, but I don't want to watch it again. Like that movie made me so upset, but also happy that there's a happy ending. The ending is happy. He refines his mother. His dad is dead, but he refines
I saw a
his
question
mom.
like that on Reddit the other day, where it's just like, what is a movie that was so good you'd recommend it to somebody, but you'd never watch it again?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of movies like that. Like,
I can't think of one.
If you're sad, if I'm sad, I won't watch Interstellar.
Some people can watch a movie.
I get really
so
depressed at the end of that movie. If I'm already sort of sad and I watch Interstellar, when I broke up with Abby the first time, we went and watched Interstellar. I was gonna go to like some other thing, and then my parents were like, "Nah, you can go to Interstellar," because it was at like the IMAX thing in DC. And I went and watched it, and I was like, "Man, I'm so depressed at the end of this movie."
Yeah, and I think turn your brain off movies are important because you don't have that emotional connection. You can go in, and every time I watch 2014 Godzilla, I will just every time Godzilla opens that thing's mouth and goes, blah! I will be doing that. I will be doing that on the couch, going.
It's such a good movie.
We're gonna meme. It's gonna be
so good.
It was such a good movie, though. That movie, everyone was like, "I hate the human people in that story," and it's like they don't show the monsters enough.
Wait, which
I
one?
think in the first 2014 Godzilla, the new Godzilla,
I don't care.
It was really
So
good because it was like basically a tease the entire way up. You got parts of the monsters, and I think you got to see them enough where it wasn't those stupid things in old TV shows where they wouldn't show the monster because they either didn't have budget for VFX or their costume looked so dumb that they were like, we're just going to show it from the monster's point of view. Or
That
show a
green
shadow or
inflatable
something.
dinosaur.
I hate it when they do that. But, so they showed stuff so you got it a little bit, but then they would like cut it off right before. It was really cool. The whole scene, the airport scene in that movie is so cool. Wait, have you seen that scene?
No, I
Where
haven't seen the
they're
movie.
on
this movie?
they're on an airport tram, and then the tram like shuts down because the power goes off, and then there's no lights, and you kind of hear everybody's like freaking out. And you kind of hear Godzilla, and then
The Mutu steps in.
The Mutu comes in and starts like blowing up.
It's the kaiju that he
It's the
fights.
bad.
It's the bad
monster.
kaiju.
It starts blowing up like a bunch of planes, and it's like a chain reaction of like 4 planes, and then the last one, Godzilla just steps in, and is like, oh!
But he steps in, and the
cool.
entire movie is shot from the perspective of the human. So he steps on the plane, and then the camera slowly tilts up, and then it's just. So good.
That definitely.
Guys, Godzilla 2014 is the best Godzilla movie ever. And you know why I don't care that Bryan Cranston dies, or that Elizabeth Olsen's character isn't that significant, or that Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is not that significant.
Okay, hold up.
You're watch this right now.
We are watching the scene right now.
Here's my
the
live
Mutu is
reaction.
getting shot. The Mutu has destroyed a plane. It has crashed on the. Oh gosh. And this is on a phone, guys. This is so good.
Explosion. Yes, you're down.
I love that movie so much.
Why?
It's so cool. It's a turn your brain on
cool.
movie. It is so cool. I don't look the human people. They're okay. I love the actors, Elizabeth Olsen and
Aaron
Cranston
said his name.
He's got a weird name.
Aaron Cranston.
No.
He's Quicksilver.
It's Quicksilver.
In Marvel Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I literally just said
whatever his
his
name
name.
is. No, Marvel
not
Quicksilver,
Marvel.
not.
I literally just said his name.
Kick-ass guy.
Yeah,
Kick-ass
him.
guy. I just
but
said his name.
they're good actors, so their
Something
stories
Taylor.
their stories are
Aaron,
okay.
Aaron Taylor.
And they're kind of like just
I think is his name.
they have a little bit of a story, but they're mainly just again like Indiana Jones. They're kind of like vessels to see the monsters through, and it makes it so much cooler. But the
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I think it's the way they shot that movie. From the human
perspective.
POV. Every time I watch Godzilla vs Kong, I enjoyed Godzilla vs Kong as a turn your brain off movie. I didn't like it as much because there's just something about shooting a movie with giant monsters where they just look like regular sized things.
Have you seen?
And the only thing that makes them big is the tiny people next to them.
Yeah.
Or they're fighting in a city. Like the fact that
Pacific Rim, the part where he punches through the building and it hits the little Newton's cradle, or the part where he just picks up a whole cargo ship and then hits the alien with that, and you see it basically like walking through the street of like Tokyo or something like that, or I can't remember.
I don't
exactly
remember where it's in.
But he's walking through the streets.
Yeah.
God, that part's so cool too.
And I think both of those movies, Pacific Rim is shot like an action movie. It's shot like a good Power Rangers movie,
which is what they're kind of based on.
Godzilla is shot more like a horror film, or a disaster film, where if you're shooting a volcano, you look at it. A volcano isn't a real thing.
You either do it from like a helicopter kind of POV, where it's like almost a circle,
or you shoot
really
it from
high above,
humans.
or you shoot it from below looking up.
Yeah, you don't do it.
You very rarely have.
And that's how I think the director approached that movie was, I'm going to shoot this like I'm shooting a volcano going off.
I like how they killed like everybody.
Oh, Cloverfield?
Have you seen Cloverfield?
Yes.
Cloverfield.
I like.
I didn't like that as much because again, it did the thing that I don't like, but they barely show the monster, and I hate that because I'm like, well, I want to see the monster.
Also,
I will say this to be able to find out which film that I was thinking of, the Cloverfield one, I had to go to Captive State, which is a phenomenal film.
Captive State.
What is that on?
I need you guys to watch it. I stole it off of online. I went to John Goodman because he's in that film, and then I went to 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Such a good movie.
And I was like, what?
That is not a turn your brain off movie.
10 Cloverfield Lane was really good.
If ever you want to know why the Academy sucks, it's because
John Goodman didn't win.
John Goodman didn't even get nominated. I could understand him not winning, but that movie obviously wasn't getting pushed for a role. But anyone who is in the Academy who watched that movie should know that John Goodman should have gotten a Best Supporting Actor nomination.
Really good in that.
How do you make
Captive
someone?
State actually only has a 2.6 on here, but I
John Goodman in that movie was so freaky.
Yeah,
and I loved it so much.
Such a good movie.
That was
but these reviews are garbage.
For what is Captive State about?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil this. I'm just going to read the synopsis. It's from 2019, directed by Rupert Wyatt. This is no longer our planet. Nearly a decade after Nearly a decade after occupation by an external force, the lives of a Chicago neighborhood on both sides of the conflict are explored in a working-class Chicago neighborhood occupied by an alien force for 9 years. Increased surveillance and the restriction of civil rights has given rise to authoritarian state.
So it's Nazi aliens take over Chicago, and a guy tries to stop them.
No.
You just said
That's not the
racism,
film.
authoritarian aliens. It sounds like Nazi
racism.
aliens.
Where did you say racism?
I don't think he said racism.
Never said racism.
I don't
Where's
think
your mind
he just
at?
said
Yeah,
authoritarian.
the restriction of civil rights. That's what I was looking at.
Which
the
is
restriction of civil rights.
That's not racism.
It could be.
That's just like human rights.
I guess, but I feel like when
True.
it comes to
That's just
maybe
kind
I'm
of-
just
they say
thinking.
just
I'm
civil
thinking
rights.
with an American perspective of the civil rights
even
movement.
still, it's just human.
Yeah, I know, but I'm more referring to like the historical context of
Like
the civil
the
rights
whole thing,
movement,
the civil rights
which was a
movement of
race-based
Martin
movement.
Luther
That's why
King
I think
Jr.
that's where my brain went. Is why.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we just sort of answered this question. I had one more question here on my little note app here about: do these movies devalue the movie-going experience? Do turn your brain off movies hurt cinema?
Martin say yeah.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese.
I actually said that before we started this episode to Justin
I stole
earlier.
your joke.
I was
waiting for you to say it. I was looking at you, and then you weren't going to say it, and so I was like, yeah, Martin.
Martin killed it.
Yeah.
No,
Martin Scorsese. Screw you, Martin Scorsese.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I would say yes, because it's the only reason is because if I am trying to make a film with a big studio, say like Warner Brothers, who do a lot of turn your brain off movies, then they would be more reluctant to take on a indie character driven hero's journey film.
But I think there are also, I also think there are bad movies that are like that are really boring.
They're garbage. It's because they're not actually character driven. They
try to be character driven, but they're just boring. And
well,
so
most of the time is they don't know people. Like they don't understand human beings. These writers, and so. Or there's a lot of things that can come into play. Like a producer will jump in. This is the issue with producers, just executives in general of the production company that have nothing to, like they're not even accredited as a producer. They'll just come in and say, hey, I want this instead. And it'll change the whole demographic of the film. and that could totally throw off a lot of the character backstory and stuff like that. You know, these characters that we want to fall in love with. Like, I freaking love Captive State because I resonate with the main character, and the actor's phenomenal too. What's his name? John Goodman's in it, but not him. Gabriel or Ashton Sanders. He's the kid in Moonlight. This guy, straight out of Compton. He's in
Straight Outta Compton.
Equalizers.
Okay.
Too.
So
Judas and the Black Messiah. He's a phenomenal.
Long and short, yeah, he is a very good actor.
Yeah, and I can connect with his character, and I can understand where he's coming from, and I can follow his journey, even though it's not following his journey from his point of view. So I think a lot of the times with those movies that aren't the greatest, that are indie films, it's because somebody might have jumped in and ruined it.
I would also, I mean, I see that argument of.
I mean, that's just one instance.
Since these big budget movies make the most money, they're the ones that are going to get called on the most, which is Martin Scorsese's argument that he can't make his long movies because of
the time restraints of these VFX.
I see that, but I also see.
Okay, but sometimes these movies can be boring.
Yeah, well, here it's not necessarily that sometimes they can be boring because
there's no
also
balance.
Really good
is
ones.
the issue? Is you have all of this money going to, is what I think Martin is trying to say. There is a place for them, and he says that at the end of his article when he's talking specifically about Marvel films. Or he's just talking not specifically about Marvel films?
About Marvel.
He was talking specifically about
Marvel.
I thought he was talking about like playground films is how he worded it.
Well, I think he might have been thinking about everything, but specifically he was talking because I think someone asked him about Marvel films.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that I think they're like the indie film market is still very vibrant and very alive. Like,
but there's
and
no
that
money
is
in
where
it.
those there's enough money in it for the movies
No,
that
there's
are
not.
trying to get you say that, but like a movie like Lion, that's an indie movie.
I've talked with investors that say there's not enough money into it. There's
Like
not
you're
enough ROI.
There's not enough profit, is what you're saying?
Yeah. ROI.
So isn't that an issue more with
the money that they're
marketing?
going to put in is not going to be the same amount because the market doesn't reflect what the market, like the market just isn't there because it's somewhere else. And
then
most
why
of
do
the
people
films
keep making? Why do people keep making indie movies?
Because they have money somehow. Because they get money from people who believe in their stuff. And starting out, it's more difficult because you have, say, I have a film like Blood Brothers, for example, because that's probably the only one that you really know about that I've been pitching. That one is a down to earth kind of A24 kind of nostalgic feeling, if that makes sense. Set in modern age, but it's, or not modern age now, but maybe 2 years ago. That film is, the market won't receive that well. They won't go see that because of current events and all of this other stuff that whatever marketers think that is the right way. They just push content. They don't really like. They're more influencing what's being sold rather than analyzing what people are going to go watch, because there's no real way to tell what individual people groups are going to go watch. Audience members. So there's no way to tell that. So they just like say, oh, this is what the market is now. And it's mainly just because they're saying that is what the market is, even though there's no real evidence for that. Like actual analytics.
Yeah.
They'll show you stuff, but it won't be like based on really anything. It's on clouds. What? You got something to say?
I think that most people probably aren't going to go see indie movies because, for the most part, from the indie movies I've seen, a lot of them are really boring. Like what's it called? The one that we saw that I thought it was okay. The Denzel Washington, Rami Malek.
The Little Things.
Little Things.
That's.
I thought it was kind of interesting.
That's a studio film.
It was an indie film, but most indie films are like that, where they're just they don't. It's quiet, and I know quiet isn't always a bad thing, but it's just kind of like boring.
You line along with the general audience where they just want to escape from their reality. They don't want to learn anything.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
And that's
nobody
fine.
wants to watch indie movies because unless they're like super.
You don't
into
want to watch
films.
indie movies.
Well, I know, but I think
I love indie movies.
No, but you're a very small.
Watching.
You're a very small minority.
Let me
so
take-
That's
but
what I'm saying
quickly.
because
I think
we're getting to a conclusion here. You're saying that because you represent the general audience. You're saying there's not enough indie indie movies. There's not enough people that want to watch those. It's because nobody makes indie movies that are good because everybody in their mom that will just give them money or whatever, and then they'll make a shitty movie, and then people that actually have good indie movie content.
Just lean in.
What?
And speak.
No, we just. Oh,
That's
My
what.
heart is full, dude. Nobody that has.
Well, this is just awkward.
Right
now.
in the middle of his speech. just come on over. Just come on over. There you go. There you go. Sit down. There you go. All right, go ahead.
Right in the middle, okay? You have people who actually have good content. The stuff that I have told you about Blood Brothers, does that seem interesting to you at all?
Which one's Blood Brothers? I know you were just talking about, but you didn't say anything about plot, did you?
No, I don't
Did I
think
blank out and miss some stuff about
I don't,
plot?
No,
I don't think you've ever
think
talked to
I've-
Brent about
I
this
have
movie.
never
might
heard
not
of
have
this movie
talked to
called
you.
Blood Brothers. I don't think I've heard of it.
It's about
except
some
for the
musicians
documentary.
No,
going
no,
to
no,
a
I'm
hard
not
time.
saying anything. This is my movie. I'm not gonna tell. I'll tell you that off screen. I don't want any.
That's
of that
okay.
on the-
Keep going.
Cut that out.
But see, what makes your indie movie better than other people's indie movie?
Because I'm Tazi Starfire.
But I'm saying everybody else thinks that too.
No. These
But
movies.
what makes you different than everybody else?
Oh, dang. He just asked you a real existential question.
No, I have an answer, but it's not worth my time because you don't care for those movies. Like, period.
I
That's
do
my
enjoy
point.
those kinds of movies. But
What
everyone
movies
I've
do you
seen-
enjoy that are indie movies? Have you ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Yes.
Do you like that movie?
Yes.
That's the kind of shit I want to make. Blood Brothers is based off of
Okay,
that.
but everyone says that.
No.
No, I think because
People
again,
say that, but they suck.
but again,
But-
you're taking.
how do we
wait,
know
quick
that-
question, guys. Stop. Because I think you're taking this personally because you brought it to
Justin.
Blood Brothers.
Crap.
All right, well, it's okay. Now this movie, guys, we're just in a pitch black. It's okay. Here, come here. Hold my hand. Brent's not saying your movie's
I'm not
bad.
saying you suck. I'm just saying
No,
You're waiting
what
for
I'm
me.
It's
saying is
almost like
that's the mentality
it's a
that
devil's advocate. That
No,
an
it's
investor,
not.
an investor is going to look at you and be like, "What makes you different from everybody else who has
And
come
I
to
have
me?
clearly
Who
explained.
has come?"
Oh,
I
wait,
have
sorry. Wait, just a
clearly-
second.
Tazi, I love you. Why
I
are you
have-
me? Why are you pushing me away,
Because
Tazi?
this is the issue with the market is what I'm trying to explain to you.
Because you're playing a producer.
Because
and
you've
you're trying to
never been in those
And he
meetings.
knows what happens when producers try to touch their clients.
If
Okay,
money
but-
is the reason why you're in this, you're in the wrong business. 100%.
That's so. There we go. Now we get to the root. I think we've gotten to the root of the disagreement about this discussion because here's
don't
well
want-
quickly. I just want to give my 2 cents on this
I'm
quickly.
sweating.
Yeah, I know.
Because the air
That's
conditioning is
it's
not.
the air
We're
conditioning.
all
No, it's
sweating.
because I'm mad.
And
My butt is wet,
but
brother.
but
So are
quickly.
my balls.
Same.
Here's the thing.
I like that.
Don't lift up
There
your. Don't lift
are-
up your shirt.
there-
Don't lift up your.
There's proof that there are studio movies.
Go ahead.
There's proof that there are studio movies that are teaching people important lessons about life first and foremost. I think Pixar is the forefront of that. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
do have movies that are cash grabs. Cars comes to mind.
Freaking
But
Coco
the first
is
one-
beautiful.
the
But
first one,
Coco
maybe
is
not, but the
gorgeous.
second two were
teaching you
definitely.
about loving family and that the legacy you leave behind is important and history and it's an exploration of Mexican culture that's gorgeous. Like that movie is amazing. Inside Out is
And that
another
if you
thing.
die with people thinking you're a cheat, you will live forever as a cheat in your grave. Unless your son somehow finds you when you're dead and gets the truth about it.
Yeah, and learn that you didn't choke on But I think that's where Tazi's trying to come from. He's trying to say there are movies out there like that, like Good Will Hunting, that are not getting picked up by studios because they don't have these flashy
VFX and all of
and all
this
this
random
stuff.
bullshit
If
that
Coco-
doesn't matter.
if Coco
or
wasn't
sex
anim-
scenes.
if-
like I literally had a producer's like, because
Pure
for Blood
Flicks?
Brothers.
for Blood Brothers,
At Pure
one of
Flicks.
the scenes.
Pure Flix was like, "This is great, but can we have a
sex
sex
scene?
scene?" But they're married. They're married, right?
A married
We need
sex
to have a
scene.
married sex scene. All their clothes are
The
on.
Christians really have
That's funny. Jesus.
They kind of just snuggle up on the couch,
No,
and then we
I
imply
had
it.
some-
We imply it. It's very implied.
I'm
But anyway,
reluctant
go
to
on,
say because there's a scene that I want to explain, but I can't explain it. there's a scene where like it's alluded that this
They have
happens.
sex. Okay.
Yes,
And he wants to see it. The
They
producer.
want to see it. Put it in because people will come watch it. Put it in the trailer. Put it in
Which
this.
I
put
find
it in
funny is that
It's fucking
producers think
stupid.
that when a lot of people feel
Cringe.
very uncomfortable
Yeah.
with sex scenes in movies,
Yeah.
they do not
It's
like
'cause
them at all.
The people in charge are fucking creeps.
Yeah.
It's
That's
weird.
That's it. It's because they want to see this. They want to see
like
it.
J.R. Martin.
And it's at moments like
J.R.R. Martin.
George R. R. Martin.
George R. I keep on saying J.R.R. Martin.
George R. R. Martin.
I'll tell you how that
He
conversation
wrote a whole
ended,
book
though.
that
Wait,
was
how
half
did that end? How did that end?
I
50
went,
Shades of Grey.
I'm not doing that. Thank you for your time, and then I left.
Nice.
Goodbye.
Nice.
I'm not even gonna argue at that point, though.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is like,
But did they
you
make
have-
it later and then give him a girlfriend?
what?
What?
Sorry. I was thinking about the episode of Phineas and Ferb where Doofenshmirtz pitches Doofenpuss, where it's the crime fighting duo between him and Perry, and then the producer at the end is like, even though you tied me up and put me next to this platypus, I love the idea. But can we give the platypus a girlfriend? And then he's like, no, I'll never compromise.
And he walks away.
And he walks away. But they make the show and they give him a girlfriend anyways.
And
he's
everyone
like,
does.
oh
No,
man,
I
maybe I
have
should
I
have.
have
Maybe they
rights
were
to
right.
I have rights to the story. They can't steal.
All right, guys. I think we're
at time.
We're at time. We're gonna have to wrap it up here.
I have to like conclusively
You
like
can
finish.
You
what
can.
I'm
How
saying.
much? Well, give it a good 30 seconds.
All right, Dad.
1.
So
Dad?
My
is that
point
how
is-
long your
my
dad was
point
with you
is-
before he left?
Oh.
Sorry, that was harsh.
no, he
I'm so-
wasn't there at all.
No, that's more time.
My
giving me
point
credit.
is, because the general audience being you, with the mentality of I want to see all
I
the
still
flat-
like
Shut
other
up for a
movies like
second.
that, though.
Shut
Let him
up for a
finish. Let him
second.
finish.
Okay.
I'm telling you from my shoes. This is the issues that I've faced. This is my truth.
Keep going. Keep
Okay,
going.
continue.
You are the general audience in this scenario, and hold on, just let me touch you first.
Wait, but you did that to me earlier. It's called the taste your own medicine.
We have a
Tyler.
really hard time finishing thoughts
Continue,
here
go,
on
go.
Film Feast, guys.
You represent the general audience where you want all this flashy shit, right? All of this stuff. You just want to escape reality, your brain switch off, and you don't have to worry about anything because you have a stressful, depressed life, right?
Sure, I'll take that on for
That's
now.
the
But that's not,
general
that's not actually me. But I'll take that on for now.
I'm saying that's the general audience, right? They want to escape.
Why are
from
you putting
life.
that on me? Why are you putting that on me?
Me, on the other hand, I want to learn something from the movies that I watch because I think there is something intrinsically valuable about that lasts forever. And I can't do that, and I've been unable to do that. Like, I've been unable to get investment for the things that... Like, I've been in meetings with millionaires, and I can't get their money because they know from the analysts and the marketers that they've hired, whatever, that that's not what the general audience wants to see. And so I can't make a movie that will change some kid's life in junior high and teach them about how life actually works and how it sucks ass. But there's good things about this life. Like, that's one of the main themes of Blood Brothers. Life sucks 100%, and you're going to face trials regardless. Whatever you do, it's going to happen. But there is good shit that happens also. And you can't
Lord
teach...
of the Rings.
No!
It's similar themes.
I don't get that from Lord of the Rings, though.
That's the.
I don't get
that's
that.
A major.
I
That's a
could
major
fall
theme of
asleep.
Lord of the Rings.
I know it is, but I can fall
No, I
asleep.
think that was
Okay.
the only thing he was comparing
Okay.
there. That was a major theme of Lord of the
Okay,
Rings.
but see, here's the thing. If you
What
fall
I'm
asleep
saying
during
is
Lord of
why
the Rings,
I
how
can-
many people do you
how
think
much-
are
how
going to
much
fall asleep
budget
during
would-
your movie?
Oh my god.
None.
This
None.
is juicy,
because
guys.
they'll
This
be
is juicy.
impacted by these characters.
I'm impacted by... A lot of people are impacted by the Lord of the Rings
That's subjective.
characters.
That's subjective. Okay.
Yeah,
Tazi,
I'm
do you have
not.
anything else that isn't
This
combative?
is what I'm saying.
No, but
So what you're saying is
sorry,
it's
I didn't mean to
subjective.
team up on you.
What?
Never mind.
Yes, that's from the get-go. It's subjective, but you guys get more shit in that we don't. Because you guys are the general audience. There's a majority of you guys and a minority
But you can
of
still
us.
put those themes in movies that are actually entertaining.
So you're telling me right now I can't make the movie I want to make. I have to turn Blood Brothers into this fantastical
could.
fucking stupid conglomerate
You...
to be able to make this.
Have you ever thought of setting Blood Brothers in space?
Have you ever watched? I know it's a comedy, but Groundhog Day. What's so
Simplicity
spectacular about
is-
that? Other than the fact that he lives the same day over and over again, it's a guy
Well, I think
who's a news
again.
reporter.
I think Tazi's going back to that is that he can't make
The movies I want to
movie.
make.
He can't make a movie like Blood Brothers. Don't compare it to Groundhog Day. Compare it to Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting is a movie that doesn't have a catchy logline.
That movie has
does not
changed me.
have. But
That
my
movie
point
changed
is
me.
that
That movie
movie
made
is
me wanna make
teaching you.
movies.
That movie is
Lord of the
teaching
Rings made me want to make movies.
Yeah, I know, guys, you're getting
a
off
set
the
dresser.
point. All right, guys, this is a Film Feast. So things are getting heated in the Film Feast household. If you want to support our failing family, you can do so over at patreon.com/filmfeast. If you want to, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why I did it again either. But if you want to email us how disgusting that was, you can do that at info.filmfeast@gmail.com. And once again, to those of you who do listen to us every week, thank you so much. Specifically to our one dedicated viewer that I know of, Josiah. Thank you. You listen to these episodes every week and let us know how we're doing, and I really appreciate it. So you all just have a great rest of your day.